Welcome into another edition of the H&H Show. I'm Ahmad Hicks. That's Henry Lake. And man, it's been a while since we talked, and there's a lot to discuss right now. And we're going to start with MVP, the Minnesota's MVP, Napheesa Collier. If you don't know what happened yesterday, she dropped a bombshell on Cathy Engelbert, the WNBA commissioner, calling her out, basically highlighting some private conversations they had, and said it's time they come to light. And of those conversations, she mentioned how Cathy Engelbert told her Caitlin Clark should be grateful for the $16 million she made off the court because without the WNBA's platform, she wouldn't make anything. She also went on to say that players should be on their knees thanking her for the new media deals that she landed for the WNBA. That's a lot.
It's not good, and I guess we always have to look at this and say she allegedly said it. Because that's one person's, version of what the conversation was. So we'll start there. Not to say that Fee would ever lie about anything like that, whatever. She's trustworthy. I believe her. She's just a phenomenal, woman, not as just a basketball player, but as an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, whatever, all the stuff. With all that being said, man, that was a lot. That was a lot that she mentioned, and if true, shame on Cathy for saying what she said because it's not appropriate. It's not the way that you should be looking at your players. It's not valuing people. It's not a good look. It's a terrible look. But I just think that, and we got to keep it a buck here. We got to be honest here.
Let's go.
If the Minnesota Lynx don't blow leads in games 2, 3, and 4, and they don't lose that series, I don't think we're talking about this today. Let's just keep it real.
Somebody asked that.
I think that some of this is based on the outcome of the series. If the Lynx are hosting the trophy up, I don't think we're talking like this. Now, there's still a conversation about officiating.
Yeah.
That's still going to be a conversation regardless of what happens this season. But in terms of the timing and in terms of like how amped up the conversation is and how direct Fee was, I think it would be a little bit different.
Okay, one thing about that. Basically, Fee said in that comment when she spoke to her in a meeting at Unrivaled in February, she asked her about officiating. And Cathy Engelbert allegedly told Fee, only losers complain. So you kind of like what you're saying?
Well, let's put it like this. Why wasn't this stated and said before the season?
Okay, that's a good point.
I mean, I think it's a legitimate question. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah,
here,
for sure.
Because I'm not trying to hate on Coach Reeve. I'm not trying to hate on Fee. I love them both, but I think that we should all look at it and understand. Because when we talk about accountability from the league, I think that we have to talk about accountability for all of us. And I don't think that the Lynx are holding themselves accountable for the collapses.
Well, I think Cheryl did that yesterday, and I think Napheesa started her statement, and she said, "This is not about wins or losses. This is not about the outcome." Shout out to the Phoenix Mercury; they played a hell of a series. She did come out and say that, and Cheryl Reeve did also say that as well. She said we should have played better. I should have called a timeout in Game 2 when we had the 5-second call, and so she came out and said we could have done better. But I think when it comes to when I asked Cheryl Reeve, would you apologize for your outburst and the way you responded in Game 3 when Napheesa Collier got hurt and you guys blew that lead? She said no, it was like a cumulative effect of everything that had been boiling over. Because if you think about dating back to last season in the WNBA finals where they got robbed at the end of the game, they called that foul on, I forgot who, but Breanna Stewart went to the free throw line, got 2 free throws, and you sent it to overtime.
That's real.
And then Cathy Engelbert had on a New York City skyline dress to hand the trophy over to the New York Liberty. It's like, come on now.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit odd.
And even though it comes out, because let's be honest, if you look at it in a bigger sense, the nation's gonna view it, I think, in 2 different ways. Everybody's gonna look at it through the lens of, you know what, she's keeping it real about the problems of the WNBA. But also people will say it does have some sore loser vibes. And I get both sides to it. But what I would say to that in defense of Fee and Coach Reeve and everybody that's associated with this situation is, especially with Fee, because she's part of leadership in WNBA with the
VP, with Brianna Stewart. Yeah,
exactly. Is that it's a means to an outcome.
Yeah.
They want to get the league and specifically the players in a much better situation. And so I give her props for that.
Look, and I think when responding to the sore loser vibes, I feel like Napheesa Collier doesn't make that statement if she doesn't have receipts. I feel like she would not out a private conversation between her and Cathy Engelbert if she didn't know this was 100% factual. And my thing is, I don't think she has that conversation if she didn't didn't have that statement if she didn't run that past Caitlin Clark herself.
Okay, and that's what I was kind of curious about too, because I was like, I didn't like that she is injecting Caitlin and utilizing her and Angel, and I'm like, unless she's already been given the green light.
I'm sure she did, because she mentioned Paige Becker's in that.
Yeah.
And Paige Becker said Queen Fee. Angel Reese came out and said 10 out of 10, no notes.
Yeah.
The only person who said no comment was Caitlin Clark, but I'm pretty sure Caitlin Clark was tipped off that this was about to come out. Like you saw some coaches come out yesterday and saying shout out to strong women, able to stand, and they're supposed to be on the owner side of the CBA and whatnot, and with the commissioner. So I think that is a very strong testament, the outpouring of support that she got from everybody across the league, every player saying we support Fee. Asia Wilson came out before the game, said, I haven't seen the comments, but knowing Napheesa Collier and what she stands for, I'm sure she meant business.
Let me say this. I love everything about this because I love everything about player empowerment, and I love everything about players supporting other players, and I want coaches to support their players as well. This is a great moment, and women are always going to be, in my opinion, superior leaders in the realm of sports than men, because this should have been happening with Colin Kaepernick.
Yep.
Like, I get it that people were taking a knee and supporting in that way, but why weren't people more vocal about, you know what, y'all can say what y'all want, and look, I may be a Democrat, I may be a Republican or whatever, what he's saying is right.
Right.
Like he's on the right side of history, and not enough people were putting their voices
or their livelihoods.
I mean, to the point that he was trying to make.
And I thought Napheesa Collier hit the nail on the head yesterday when she basically said, without the players on the court, there is no W. It's not the other way around. It's not to say that without the commissioner and this platform, there's no league. No. Without the players, there's no league. The league's professional sports starts with the players. They're the one that drive revenue. They're the ones that bring in endorsements. They're the ones that have fans excited to come out. Not the coaches, not the owners. Like, it's the players.
Asia Wilson and Caitlin Clark are not replaceable. Who's replaceable is the commissioner. They can find another commissioner.
Thank you.
And I mean, what are we doing here?
And so that's what I'm saying. I mean, look, when it comes to consistency and you talk about officials and you really do a deep dive into the WNBA officials, they're getting officials from the G League that aren't good enough to make it to the NBA. Like, they don't even have full-time officials. You can't look up reports on them. You can't check their stats and the way they call games like you can in the NBA or the NFL. Like in the NFL, the NBA, when you get your game and you see who's going to be official, like, you get a list of who's going to be officiating the game. You get a chance to be like, all right, they tend to call these plays a little bit more. Let's watch out for this. And you don't get that with the WNBA. So why is there not transparency? And then when you talk about the league, and this is what Napheesa Collier and them are saying, we have no idea how much money the W is bringing in. They don't tell us anything about that. But they want to tell us we get a set rate, whatever that is, 3% of the pie, whereas a couple of years ago, some of these franchises were evaluated at $15, $30 million. Some of these franchises are worth $500 million now. So how are you telling me that the players can't get a bigger portion of the pie, Cathy Engelbert?
And there's no way in the world right now in 2025 and moving forward that the WNBA should be underfunded.
Thank you.
There's just I'm not trying to hear it.
With the expansion and stuff coming?
There's no way. Like there's no way that we can have that conversation. These women should be paid much more money than what they're being paid. And to even play the card about the platform and you wouldn't have money, but that's just flat out disrespectful. Like, don't play that game.
Yeah, because Caitlin Clark signed a $20 million Nike deal before she stepped foot in the W.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
Stop.
Like, this lady could go make a league of her own and kill it with her fan base, So, look, I'm on the side of the players in this one. Like, what Fee did yesterday, I think was revolutionary. I think
it was just, I thought that some of the commentary was a little bit cringe, like when she brought her husband into the thing. Some of it I was just like, I felt like it was kind of unnecessary. We didn't need the particulars.
I think she was speaking from examples.
Yeah.
Because she runs her own league and unrivaled.
I get what she was doing, but I was just kind of like, it was really, really personal.
I mean, I think what hit the nail on the head was how she talked about how Cathy Engelbert didn't call her after her injury, none of that stuff. And then you have Elena Delle Donne, a Hall of Famer in the WNBA, who came out and said, shout out to what Napheesa said. I retired, and I think everyone reached out but Cathy. How do you feel that way about one of the former faces of your league? Yeah. Like, you got this many former players, current players coming out. Like, imagine if the whole in NFL was coming at Roger Goodell like that. All the players calling him out, some coaches calling him out, coaches coming in post-game press conferences and just laying into him about how poorly run he's doing, how poor of a job he's doing in the NFL. You don't think there will be backlash?
Yeah, I definitely – I'm not she's got to be on the hot seat right now.
Heck
I don't understand how she's going to be able to navigate the waters now that it's so rough.
Did you see her statement?
Because it was.
She didn't deny anything.
Yeah, no, she didn't deny anything. She said that in the statement she said something about there was some particular language about Fee's version of their conversation, but she didn't
characterize their conversation.
She didn't shoot the everything down. But I guess my point is that, like, how do you just kind of move on from this? I don't think you do move on, because if the players don't trust you, if they don't believe in you, if they don't like you, how do you survive that? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. And look, they got to figure something out. The CBA expires October 31st. They can't extend it past that date. But look, you're talking about expansion teams coming in 2026.
Yeah.
You're talking about everyone in the W is a free agent right now. You can't build your roster right now until this gets figured out. And I think going back to what you asked earlier, why didn't we hear about this before the season? Well, maybe because they were trying to keep things positive. And right now, there's been no positive talks about the CBA. And as Alicia Gray came out and said the other day, they are so far apart still, like, on the W side, like, in what they need to do better. I think that was time for, like, everybody to know this is how this is how this commissioner is talking about the players in her league. You're talking about you're advocating for us, you're fighting for us, but you're telling us we should be on our knees thanking you and the stars for media deals. Maybe your business side did help land those deals, but you don't land those deals without the popularity of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, and so on.
Yeah, I think that she did a great job, and she seized the opportunity to have the spotlight. I do think it was unfortunate that it happened also on the day of a Game 5. Mm-hmm. It kind of overshadowed what the Aces did last night. And that Aces Indiana
game was fire.
It was fire. Win the overtime.
I wish Kelsey Mitchell would have not had cramps towards the end.
Well, I also think that one of the points that the veterans and a lot of people that have watched this league forever, and I hold myself as raise my hand and say that I'm one of those. I've been watching from the start. Is that I think that they were validated last night, and what I mean by that is the Aces barely got past the Fever, barely
with 6 players facing season-ending injuries for the
Kelsey
Fever.
Mitchell went out in the fourth quarter.
Aaliyah Boston fouled out in the fourth quarter. Indiana was right there. Almost had a chance.
They played the majority of this season without Caitlin Clark. So I bring this up because to the casuals, to the people that became fans of Caitlin Clark or are Caitlin Clark fans and hopped on the bandwagon last year, right? And we're all in their feelings because vets and other people that have been supporting the league raised their hands and said, look, we're happy to have you on board. We love Caitlin Clark and what she's bringing to the league, but understand this league is not just Caitlin Clark. It is everyone. Yes, she's bringing you guys into the mix. There's a massive spotlight on her, but please, it's bigger than one player.
It is.
And people got in their feelings about no, she is the league. Are y'all watching? No. Are y'all paying attention to what the Fever just did? They almost made it to the – so that validated everybody last year saying, look, it's never going to be about one. It's about the group.
I agree. Look, this is a very passionate discussion, and I feel like we can keep going on and on about this. We're going to save a little bit of meat on the bone for a little bit later on because I feel like it's going to be something to chew on here a little bit later. So let's talk about your boy. Derek Falvey, the president of the Twins, came out, had a press conference yesterday to address the firing of manager Rocco Baldelli. Yeah. had a just above 500 win percentage here, had the 4th worst record in the MLB this season. One could argue that they didn't give him a lot of cards to play. Yeah. You know, you didn't acquire a lot of pieces in offseason last year. You traded away half it, like 40% of his playing roster at the trade deadline, and then you fire him. And when asked, basically, because Derek Falvey came out and said, respect Rocco, everything he's done for us, class, you know, first-class guy, all this stuff. They said, so why'd you fire him? And he's like, it was a direct conversation with ownership. That was his response, basically.
Yeah. So I want to first start off by saying that I respect the heck out of Rocco Baldelli. I think that Rocco was a good human. Mm-hmm. Like he's an unbelievable dude.
For sure.
Seriously. Just a great human being. I've always enjoyed conversations with him, or just, you know, being able to talk to him post game and everything. And I think he's a smart baseball guy. I think that when we talk about the lack of winning here the last couple of years, yeah, of course the manager is going to, I don't want to say be the fall guy, because he's got to manage to the best of his ability, and he's not a flawless guy. But when you're stripping away pieces from him,
thank you.
I mean, that has to be factored in.
Thank you.
Did I think that he was going to survive this season? Yeah, I did think that, based on the fact that they picked up his contract this season for next year. They picked up the option, or added a year to his contract or whatever. So I was a little bit surprised by that. But whenever it goes real bad, and it went south in the second half of the season, based on them having no bullpen, based on them trading away everybody. So this is not necessarily, to me, this is bigger than Rocco. Yeah. This is about the Polat family not spending as much money to give themselves a chance at winning.
So what type of manager would see this situation, see how they treated Rocco, see the roster that they have, and say, I'm taking this head on, sign me up for a 4 or 5 year contract. I'm going to turn this franchise around.
Somebody that believes in themselves, somebody that believes that they can fix it, somebody that wants an opportunity because they've never had one. It's not like Bruce Bochy's coming here.
Right. Do you think that whoever they said the manager they're looking for can come in all shapes and sizes, different backgrounds? Do you think that manager will even have a chance to be successful with the roster that they're giving him?
It depends. I mean, it depends on what are the Polats going to do? Are the Polats going to sit on their hands and cut payroll even more? Or are they going to say, you know what, we acknowledge that even though, you know, we tried to sell the team, was unsuccessful in selling the team, and now we're looking for, you know, people like, you know, the investors here, we're going to step it up. We'll bring it back.
I mean, just think about it.
I just don't know if that's going to happen, because why wouldn't you just go ahead and just do that with Rocco here?
Thank you. Because my thing is, 2 seasons ago, this team is in the AL semis. Not what wild card, then the
ALCS.
ALCS.
No, division series.
Yeah, DS, ALDS. They were in the ALDS. Target Field was rocking. Yeah. I mean, rocking.
That Toronto series. Oh my goodness.
Like, that was fire. The wild card series. Then they played the Astros the next round. And you know, they fell a little flat. But it's like Target Field was buzzing.
Yep.
And then you come out and say, I'm cutting payroll after that. Like, come on.
There was some mistakes that were made, and I think it trickled down to the players too, because Joe Ryan was like, man, we had Sonny Gray, and then y'all let him go. So I think that it's going to be interesting, because you got players in the organization, good players, that are frustrated.
Yeah, they should be. Yeah. They should be. So we don't know. When asked why they should be optimistic, Derek Falvey was asked why fans should be optimistic about the Twins in 2026. And he said, look, we got a bunch of young players, and we got Byron Buxton. We got Joe Ryan. We got Pablo Lopez. And it's like Royce Lewis. Like, yeah, all right, that's cool.
Yeah.
But that ain't enough.
No, it's not enough.
That ain't enough to be optimistic to go out there and spend $50 to $150 on tickets and parking and all that stuff. Like, you got to make us want to spend this money. Like, and that roster's not doing that. All right. Another problem in town, quarterback controversy for the Minnesota Vikings. Everyone thought Carson Wentz was the answer after that game at home versus the Bengals, where the defense lit it up, had 5 takeaways.
Did we think he was the answer, or did we just think that he was playing better than JJ?
Both.
Okay.
Social media thought that he was the guy of the future.
Okay.
Until he went out there and played against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and everyone found the common denominator. Seems like a lot of quarterbacks hold on to the ball in this system. Sam Darnold, that was his problem last year. People were saying that was J.J. McCarthy's problem the first couple of games of the season. And now people are saying after 2 games, Carson Wentz holds on to the ball. So maybe we'll dive into the play calling and things like that. But the Vikings lost. They're 2-2. The defense didn't look good stopping the run versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. It didn't look good stopping Aaron Rodgers. He was getting that ball out of his hands so quick. DK Metcalf diced him up for 80 yards on that one play. Only had like 120-something receiving yards, but a lot of them came on one play. But how concerned are you for the Vikings right now and their offensive woes?
I'm concerned more so about that offensive line, and you're about to face Myles Garrett this weekend.
Yeah.
That scares me. Like, that scares me.
Did you see that clip where he beat a Packers left tackle, and then the left tackle said, "Jordan, run!" in the middle of the play?
I didn't see that.
Told the quarterback to run because he got beat that bad.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
That ain't good.
But the good thing is he'll probably be going up against Christian Darrisaw. Darrisaw can hold his own weight. But Justin Skule allowed a lot of pressures before Darrisaw got back. He's going to be playing over Brian O'Neill, who's going through an MCL injury right now. Ryan Kelly has his second concussion in 4 games. This is his 5th concussion in his career. So you're talking about possibly like IR for Ryan Kelly, like in long-term health. He just signed a 2-year deal, $16 million in Minnesota. But look, if I'm his wife, I'm his mom, his dad, 5 concussions in your career, 2 in 4 games.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
That's
a problem.
That's a problem.
You got to be here for your kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's a problem. And then Donovan Jackson had wrist surgery, so he's out until week 7 or 8. So you got Blake Brandel over there who started last year but didn't cut it. That's why they went out and paid Will Fries and drafted Donovan Jackson.
It's all bad news for the Vikings offensive line, which in turn is bad news for Carson Wentz, which is bad news for the running backs. But the good news,
I'm listening,
is that Dillon Gabriel has been announced as the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns against Brian Flores and the Vikings defense.
So I just went and added the Vikings defense in my fantasy league because the last time they played a backup quarterback, they had 5 takeaways this season. So I think Dillon Gabriel,
he's about to go through it.
What a welcome to the NFL
He's
moment.
about to go through it. And I'm not hating on him, but, man, Flores is not who you want to be dealing with game 1.
Especially if Andrew Van Ginkel plays and Jonathan Grenard. Is he out this week? I didn't see the injury report yet.
I think he's likely to be out.
All right. Well, even if not, you still got Jonathan Grenard.
Yep.
You still got Jalen Redmond, who's been a beast in the interior defensive line. Dallas Turner's flashing. He's getting a little bit better.
He's starting to. I'm glad you brought his name up.
He's flashing. He told me after that first start when Van Ginkel went out, he said, I did all right. He said, I need to set the edges better. I need to be more consistent.
Yep.
I need to, develop another move. He was very adamant about that stuff with me, and then he did that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like guys like that just need more reps. It's hard to step in there and have that instant production when you don't play that position all the time. But that being said, Dillon Gabriel's going to have a whirlwind of troubles, but so will Carson Wentz in this offensive line with Myles Garrett, because the Browns' defense is no slouch. Y'all see what they did to the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
They beat the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers were 2-0. Everybody thinking Super Bowl, undefeated season, and then they came out there and just stifled Jordan Love.
I think the key to this game, though, is going to be, because I don't think that the Vikings are going to put up a lot of points against this Browns defense. I don't see that happening. But I think that Gabriel's going to have some mistakes.
I hope he does.
And it's about takeaways. The Vikings have an opportunity to get some takeaways, put the offense in great spots. I think that's the reason why they win.
My fantasy team would love that. My fantasy team would very appreciate a lot of takeaways. 5, Isaiah Rodgers, if you want to go score 2 touchdowns again, come on, let's do it. I'm with you this week. So the plan, Kevin O'Connell came out and said that he hopes to get J.J. McCarthy back at practice this week, dropping back a little bit, testing out that ankle, because we all know they have a bye next week, so it's good to get some rust out.
Yep.
But late, after that game, they got the Eagles, the Chargers, the Ravens.
It's rough. It's hard out here for
the Vikings.
Yeah.
It's
going to be rough.
You're talking about JJ coming back. First team he's playing is this defending Super Bowl champions. Then he goes to Los Angeles on the road to take on a Harbaugh team on Thursday Night Football, another primetime game for him.
It's going to be tight.
It's going to be very tight. The Vikings need to figure it out. They need to get healthy on that offensive line. The bye week couldn't have come at a better time. Hopefully give guys a little bit of chance to rest up after this bye, get back healthy, get that offensive line right, because your skill guys are healthy right now. And T.J. Hockenson is basically like a non-factor when he has to sit on the edge of the line and chip. Like the one game where he had Darrisaw and O'Neill, he had a touchdown. He had several catches. He had a big day. But when he's not out there, he's having a chip. He's basically an extra offensive tackle, and that's not good for this passing game. That's not good for Kevin O'Connell, so that kind of hinders what they can do. So hopefully he figures that out, and hopefully the Vikings figure it out. I hope they come out victorious because they need some wins right now.
I'm not overly confident, though. I think they win this week, though.
They gotta win this week facing a backup quarterback. Yeah. There's no exceptions. Like, you're facing a rookie quarterback, like, you got to go out there and do what you got to do. If you don't, that's a bigger problem. All right, we're gonna end this podcast talking about the Timberwolves. Training camp just opened up. Media days happened the other day. Anthony Edwards, his usual self-cursing, dropping some N-bombs and stuff like that. You know,
being Ant.
This is Ant. Like, this is who we all signed up for to watch, and this is what they're going to be. So one thing I took away from his press conference, Pierre Nugent asked him, what do you do in the middle of the season when you're playing those down teams like the Charlotte Hornets or the Portland Trailblazers or something, like bad basketball teams where you know you guys are going to win, but then they end up being competitive games because you play down to their level? And what are you going to do in those games? He said, I'm going to just go for scoring highs in those games. He said, in the past, normally I would just be like, oh, screw it. I'm going to let my guys get off and go get theirs. He said, but now I'm going to try and go set scoring records. I'm shooting for the MVP in those type of games, you know. What did you take from those comments?
Yeah, I mean, I would have rather he just said, I'm going to play hard, or I'm going to play just as hard as any other. I mean, I'm going, what? And, bro.
I loved it, though. Like, go out there, go for 40, 50. Come on, man.
It's Anthony Edwards.
I love it.
You know, it's the Ant-Man.
I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, he's just being honest, man.
Look. Go score 50.
Honesty is the best policy.
Thank you. Go score 50, and I'm with you, dog. If that's what it's going to take for y'all to blow out these middle-of-the-pack teams, these bottom-tier teams, go score 50, dog. Be a ball hog in those games. Like, win by 30. We all good with that. You feel me? Go jack your threes, increase that percentage.
But get the dub.
Get the dub.
Get the dub.
The one thing that I did love, Shams came out.
Don't play hero ball.
Exactly. Shams came out and reported that Ant spent a lot of time this offseason working on his post-up game. And Iman Shumpert, I think, was one of the first NBA players to not call him out, but say after the season, when that man can play with his back towards the basket and he can see where the defense is coming from and know where the doubles are coming, he's going to be a bad man. And I think that's something we all noticed last year. Like, before Ant was downhill, I'm getting to the rim, I'm dunking on you. Last year was more, I'm shooting this three because I developed my jump shot this offseason and I'm letting it fly. Now it's like, all right, I need to get in that mid-range game, because you saw a lot last year. He would beat his first guy, but if he couldn't get to the rim, he would kind of get stuck in the air sometimes, where now it's like, all right, pull up, show off that 15-foot shot. Go get a little bank shot. You know what I'm saying? He gets that part of the game, the mid-range game, the post-up game. That's MVP caliber.
So wait, is Ant trying to tell us to put some money down on him winning the MVP? Is that what Ant's trying to tell us? Is Ant saying that's where we need to go to?
Is that what you read?
I mean, I'm just wondering what he's trying to say.
I didn't think about that, but now that you break it down like that, man, maybe I got to look at the odds. I got to see if it's worth $100 or something. Because, look, he's out for blood this season. The way it ended last year, the way SGA got all those fouls and kind of showed them up, like, I think there's levels to, like, I think Chris Finch even said it. There's levels and there's artwork to drawing fouls and things like that. And I know he's not a flopper. He's not one that's go flail, but it's like, bro, you got to learn to do that. The best players in the NBA, they do that.
Go get it.
And yeah, so I think it's going to be a big season for Ant. Obviously, they didn't bring in a lot of pieces for this team. And I love what Mike Conley said yesterday. He said they were out on a team dinner the other day, and they all talked about what they want to do this season. Everybody said they want to win championships. How do you win championships? You got to defend. And Mike Conley said it starts with Anthony Edwards. He said we have to hold him accountable, and he has to be the top 5 two-way player. He has to be one of the top 5 defenders in the NBA if we want to go on. Yeah. And I think something that wasn't allowed to work on the last couple of years was his conditioning and things like that, because he had so much to go do. He had Team USA obligations. Yeah. He had the Olympics. He had all this, whereas now he had a chance to really hone in on his craft, work on his conditioning, and do the things that he wanted to do. Because if you go back to when they lost in the semis 2 years ago to the Dallas Mavericks, he got 2 weeks off. He went to Miami, and then he had to start getting ready for the Olympics. It's no time for you to really put your body through the rigorous workouts that you needed to put it through to be able to withstand a full 82-game schedule plus playoffs and be in shape for that. He had that opportunity now. So I think this is going to be the biggest year for Ant.
And I think that that thought about defending at a high level, that's something that you're just going to see across the board. Everybody understands that they have to raise their level.
Yeah.
Terrence Shannon Jr. said that directly to me at NBA Summer League. He was like, with Nikhil gone, I know I got to be a better defender. They have told me I have to defend. Like, there's no questions about me scoring the basketball. I can get to the basket and I can score buckets when I need to. I got to defend because we're losing a really good defender. Rob, Rob's gonna need help.
That's what they said.
You know, Dillingham is gonna try to use his quickness to get steals and play and defend to the best of his ability. But when people are trying to bag him down and stuff like that, whatever, other guys are going to have to help him.
He's going to be a liability, that's for sure, but he's going to have to hold his own. You're an NBA player. It's like you're going to have to hold your own. That means you're going to get put in some pick and rolls. You're going to have to guard a guy like Luka Doncic. You're going to have to guard a SGA, so you got to show up. If you can't do that, then you probably can't play for the Timberwolves, and I think we all know that.
For sure.
All right, well, that was another fiery episode of the H&H show. Henry Lake, Ahmad, Hicks here. We'll see you guys next week after, hopefully, a Vikings win in London. Hopefully, we go cross our fingers and hope that we have some positive news to talk about Carson Wentz and that defense getting after Dillon Gabriel making his first start in the National Football League. Until then, like, subscribe, follow, share it, pass it along to a friend, and we'll see you all next week.
Talk to you.